my fourth video since I started this journey so far, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm already sick of recording videos. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat the fact. I don't know if it's just because it's something that I'm still getting used to or what it is, but it did bring me to a question. Do we quit things too quickly and easily? Or is it a signal that we're not meant to be doing something and we should be doing something else? I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure that out. I think this is all part of the journey, figuring all of these things out, asking these questions of ourselves, being brutally honest about what we're feeling, and then taking that and assessing whether we should be continuing down that path, or whether a change is needed, or whether we should exit that path altogether. And again, I still don't have the answer here, because like I said, it's the fourth video I'm recording. I think the first one or two were kind of exciting because it was novel and it was new and I was getting my thoughts out, which I think is still helpful. But so I shot 3 days in a row. I shot these videos, I recorded, and then for the next 4 days of that week I just didn't record anything, and I didn't feel like doing it, and maybe I should have, I don't know. So today is Tuesday of the following week, and it's almost a week since I've recorded one of these videos. So I'm trying to assess, do I stay on this path? Because we've seen the benefits of this, right? We've seen people who just stick with something for a long time, go through the hard parts, learn, iterate, change things up here and there, but they're still on the same path, and then find success. Now I'm wondering, can you do that with most things? Can you just, by sticking on a path and strategically changing little things here and there, but not really deviating too much from that same path, can you find success? And that's what I'm hoping to do with this video series, because I think I started by thinking this would just be a video journal, but it's really becoming a full experiment, isn't it? It's kind of how do things look if you stick with something for a while? And if you look at other parts of your life, which is what I'm trying to do right now, so I'm looking at things that I've stuck with, even though it might not have been the easiest or the simplest, or there were roadblocks and there's a lot of friction on those paths, but I stuck with something, and more times than not, that's brought me to a level of whatever you define success to be. An example would be the career I'm in right now. So I've probably been in this career for the best part of 20, maybe a little bit more years, and kind of fell into it by accident, where my job role got kind of reassigned when I was younger to something in this field, and I think it aligned to some strengths of mine. And it hasn't been an easy road all the way through. The 20 years that I've gone in this industry it's not been a path like this, it's been a path like this, and eventually, getting to a point where it has gone on an upward curve, but not a straight line. And so is that kind of the way to do things? Sticking with something, like becoming better at it, and maybe you start to enjoy it a little bit more. Like, there are parts of my career that I enjoy, there are parts that I don't. How do you navigate that with something? Can you replicate it in other parts of your life? So I'm trying to figure that out. Or, on the flip side, is it a signal that something is not working, and so you quit that path? And I've done that before with jobs that I've been in before, where I haven't enjoyed what I've done and have quit that path, and maybe it hasn't worked out as well, but it also has taken me in another direction. So I can't definitively say there's a right or wrong answer. I think we look at life and there aren't any black and white paths in life. I think everything is nuanced. I think there's a lot of gray in the middle. I think we try and make things one way or the other, and it's generally not that way. I think there's a lot in the middle that is very, very nuanced, that instead of being so driven to one side or the other, we are avoiding a lot of what makes the path more enjoyable and what makes the path more challenging and makes the path more nuanced in terms of how lost my train of thought, really. But again, I think it's not one way or the other. I think there's a lot of the middle that we miss out on sometimes. And so the signal is there sometimes, and maybe that signal is just telling you do things in a different way, but stick with the path. So I think for this experiment at least, I think I'm going to continue recording these videos, see where that leads me. Do I find myself enjoying it at some point when I get better at it, or when I can see I'm improving in some way? I don't have any answers here. This is really a full-on experiment, and I'm a little uncomfortable in front of this camera at the moment because I don't know how to navigate this. I'm still in the middle of it, and maybe this is part of the path, you know, where you are in that middle and you are navigating the path and you're not enjoying it up front, but you look back on it a year from now and realize that it was a good experience, and maybe you'd want to go back to parts of that and experience it again, or experience those types of feelings again. Again, I think I've said this in my previous videos, but a lot of these early videos of mine are going to be pretty bad, and I think that's what I've got to look at. I've got to go, I realize that I might not want to do it on this day, but I'm still going to do it because I'm going to improve somehow. Something I'm going to improve by looking at the camera more often instead of looking down more often. I'm going to get better at my facial expressions when I'm on the camera. I'm going to get better at articulating myself when I'm talking to something inanimate like a camera. So maybe I just continue on that path and see where that leads. I think it's a worthwhile experiment. Even if I'm not looking forward to recording the video on that day, I think it still needs to be done. So I'm convincing myself while I'm talking right now that this is the path I'm going to take, and I'm going to continue and see where that leads. Because I think serendipity is a thing. You don't know where something's going to lead until you do things, and I'm a big believer in just doing things. Doing it, seeing if it sticks, seeing if it works. If it doesn't, maybe moving on to something else, or maybe changing direction slightly, but still doing the thing. Just do things no matter what it is. Just go out and do it, and something will happen from that point. Because if you're sitting still and letting things happen to you, I found that generally there's no huge benefit to you. You don't see benefits that come out of that. As personal experience, might be different for someone else, but for me, I've never really seen, by being a passive observer, things come to me. But if I'm out there doing things, no matter what it is, making a video, going out and volunteering somewhere, putting myself out there as something that, you know, could be ridiculed, the universe or whatever it is that's out there generally comes back and gives something back to me that I can take and then use as a next step. That's been a learning of mine. So I think I'm going to continue to do the same thing with this. Put these out there. That's the thing with social media now and everything, that we are so closely connected to everything out there and everyone out there. It just takes one person seeing something that forces a connection, and that leads to something else. And we never had that before the internet, before social media. It wasn't as simple to connect. Like one video can connect you to somebody, where that wasn't the case before. You had to go out physically and meet those people, or try and get an appointment or a meeting or whatever. Now it's, you put a video out on the internet, and if someone resonates with your content, a connection can be made, and then something can be built. And I think that's key to how we look at things these days. So when choosing, I think just trying to wrap all this up together, when choosing to continue on a path or not, for me, I think I've seen more benefit on continuing, no matter how hard that path is, or how much that I don't really want to do something, than not. So I'll leave it there. I'll record more videos going forward, because I was on the fence of whether to continue this or not, and I think I'm going to. Hope this helped. This was a lot of very random thoughts going on in my head, but I think it's helpful again to me. So thanks for listening. See ya.